expecting help from someone like you.
Talking dicks. I hope. We hope. We don't know what's going to happen. It's been a little bumpy so far, but talking dicks for a Friday. I'm Al Romas in Tampa. That's Al Ducharme in Studio City. And are we on, Al?
I think
are things working?
Yeah. What happened was I don't have the AIDS quilt behind me, as you noticed.
I see that.
I have the new TV. It's a 32-inch for the office, and it's supposed to be right here next to me, but it was new. It was updating the software. It wasn't connecting with my MacBook. So I said, all right, we'll just go back to the little monitor that I salvaged from the trash. I was donating it to the church, but I retrieved it. And now that's acting up. So I think once I hooked up the new technology to the MacBook Pro, it messed with the old technology and they were fighting it out. But I think we're on.
All right, we're on, and it's a big day. I got a free iced coffee from Dunkin' Donuts. How about that? Free iced coffee.
Dunkin' Donuts, it's worth the trip.
Look at that. I went in. I was going to go through the drive-thru, but then I go, I'll go in. What the hell?
You went in.
So I went in.
Did you put your mask on?
Put my mask on, and
you didn't wear it. This is Florida. There's no masks in Florida.
Got to wear a mask everywhere you go.
I agree.
Every store. So, I have the mask on, and the girl it's taken a while. The process is taking a while. Finally get up. I go,
hey, these white women. Maybe she wasn't white.
I get to the counter. I go, I'll do a medium iced coffee, and then she makes it, and then I go, okay, and I give her a $5 bill. She goes, you know what? She goes, I'm so sick of this. I go, well, are you the only one working today? She goes, yeah, they tell me my shift doesn't make enough money to hire another person. So it's just me all afternoon, and I'm going to quit. I'm quitting in like an hour. I'm going to walk out of here. So take your coffee. I don't care. Have it. It's free.
It's a franchise. That's why.
And I go, really? So I threw a couple of bucks at her. I go, all right, well, good luck. And she's like, yeah, thanks. She goes, personally, when I walked out, I was like, yeah. I go, why would you wait an hour? Why don't you just leave? What's with the extra hour? Just go.
I think.
You know what I mean?
I think that was all bullshit, and she just really was digging your vibe.
I didn't even have the hat on. I don't know.
You didn't have a hat on?
I didn't have the hat on.
You didn't have a heart on?
There's a blue alert for you, folks. There you go. Speaking of alerts, we have a new Patreon member.
Don Dolan, longtime follower on our other websites. I just kicked the camera a little bit. Let me move you back. Yes, Don Dolan. He posts a lot of great pictures of old cars and some lovely ladies from the 60s and 70s.
Childhood friend of mine from Massapequa, Long Island. I used to run with old Don and listen to the Doors and the Beatles, and he's a Stones man. He loves the Beatles, but he puts the Stones above him. It's always been a point of contention. I don't get it, but he's a Stones guy. What are you gonna do?
Word on the street is the guy's got a, nice set of Stones.
You're just going old. The technical difficulties of just making you blue. You're out the door with fucking the blues today. You got the blues.
I had some
like the Stones.
I took an extension on my taxes, and I had to extends. I had to get my SEP IRA contribution for 2019 in by midnight tomorrow night.
Nobody cares.
And
Nobody
cares. Is informative information.
Nobody cares. I'm speaking for the audience. I say I don't care. I'm the audience right now. Nobody cares.
Anyways, so I was flustered with that. I finally got it in. But then the whole monitor thing threw me off. Besides, you messaged me and said, "Hey, can we record tomorrow? I've got some issues. Whatever. You got obligations." I said, "No problem." And then you texted me, said, "Hey, can we do it today?" That was a couple of hours ago, and I had wires, and I was.
I don't think that was a couple hours ago. I texted you yesterday saying, "Let's do it Wednesday."
I'm going to edit your response out.
It wasn't blue enough for you. That's the reason, you son of a bitch.
Anyways, I was a little flustered, and there's technical issues, and now we're actually recording this in a different way. This is my backup way to record our podcast in case we lose power, earthquakes, whatever it is. I look very pasty right now because I have a bright light on me. So.
Your lighting is not up to par as usual. You'd have your lighting gal there and your makeup and your pancake makeup that you apply hours before the broadcast. It's all right. You'll be okay. Hey, you know what we got here?
Oh no! Is it really?
Questions.
Yes, sir.
Well, now
this was actually from last week, so it's a little dated, but still we can answer it. It's from our friend Daryl. We know Daryl.
Oh yes.
Daryl's a patron, a Patreon member.
First one to sign up.
First member to sign up. There you go. And people, by the way, the Patreon, we have a whole new Talking Dicks running right now on the Patreon. You're not going to see unless you join. And why not join for a cup of coffee? Not a free cup, because I get the free shit. That's how it works for me. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to tell you to do it. But for the price of a coffee, you can see all our stuff on Patreon.
He gets free coffee because chicks really dig him.
Well, I really wear underwear. And when I do, it's usually something pretty wild.
Is it meatballs or stripes? It is stripes.
Stripes.
I get meatballs and stripes mixed up because they're both Bill Murray, and he does similar. He's the same character.
He's the same. He's Bill Murray. He's Bill Murray. That's it.
I'm quoting movies, and I don't even know what movie I'm quoting.
I'd love to see the script of those, to actually see the script and then see the movie and see if he stuck to anything. Because Caddyshack, that's all. He made that whole Cinderella thing. That was all ad-libbed on the spot, all that shit. So
he was brought in. He was brought in. They had already cast the movie and they were shooting it. And Harold Ramis asked him, "Would you come in and play this?" I think an actor didn't show up or quit.
Good move.
And he became Carl, and they just kept. He was supposed to do that one little scene, and they kept adding to it and adding to it.
Yeah, that was great. And I love when Chevy Chase, when his ball goes into Carl's into the little shack, and then he plays through. He goes, I'm gonna play through, and then he shows him the weed. He's got the weed and the grass, and that was the whole pool and lake bit. Remember that? You got a pool there at your place? You got a pool?
You got a pool?
Well, got a lake. Might be better for you. Got a lake. Anyway. Lake might be.
All right.
A lake might be. Yeah, Ramis and who else? Who's the other co-writer on that? The guy who fell off the mountain in Hawaii, co-wrote Animal House. People are fucking screaming right now the name. I can't pull it.
Brian Freitz is like, "You idiots! Why don't you remember that?"
It's so lame. It's so lame. Doug Kenny. Doug Kenny. He hated the movie when it came. He wrote it, and he wrote Animal House with Ramis, and he hated because he hated that gopher, and the studio made that little song with "I'm Alright" and him dancing, and he was like, "This is fucking bullshit," and that was one of the reasons he went to Hawaii with Chevy to trip and go mountain hiking, and was it a suicide? Was it an accident?
Was it a gopher?
Could have been a gopher. What if we kill all the gophers? No, you idiot. The golfers. All right. We have a question, though, from Mr. Daryl Robinson. Is his last name? I don't remember Daryl's last name. Anyway.
It's right here.
Oh, there you go. Daryl. He writes, favorite Van Halen era, Roth or Sammy? David Lee Roth or Sammy Hagar? Who's your favorite?
I'm not just going to go. I have to say stuff. Sammy,
I know.
1984 monster recording album put the guys on the map officially worldwide. But the first album with Sammy Hagar actually outsold 1984. Oh. Did you know that?
I didn't know that, no.
But he was catching the Kahuna wave. Right. But Sammy Hagar was already a rocker guy. So he was kind of like a good fit for them.
Does that answer you? So, who is your favorite? What era is your favorite, Roth or Hager?
I know you're not gonna say this, but I'm gonna go Roth because they were such a spectacle and came out on fire that it.
Yeah.
And I was a young person. I was a young boy, and
A young lad.
I was a strapping young lad, and
running
it just
around Rhode Island.
and I was chasing girls and flirting and getting handies.
Hot for teacher.
Hot for teacher. Wow.
I would agree with you on this because they were Van Halen. I mean, Hager when he came in, the replacement, he did a great job. They were good. I don't know, but I didn't care about them anymore at that point. But for me, when Van Halen, even though I wasn't the biggest David Lee Roth fan, that's Van Halen.
We're in agreement, you and I.
We're in agreement on that one, sir.
Well, thank goodness we weren't talking about Longmire.
Hey, we did a Herf Sunday, and you were exposed. Everyone loved Longmire. You tried to joke and go something like, "Oh, you're not going to make me watch Longmire."
I thought everybody was going to jump on. What a shit
show! The guys
show!
were all like, "It's great."
They're like, "Oh, I love it." And
we love Longmire.
I was the odd man out, and I had to give into it. So I got the new TV. I got the new TV so that I can watch Longmire in my office without. Are we gonna put on something good?
I don't know what that is.
This is the wife. Are we
gonna?
Oh,
the wife. Wow, a little insight into the Ducharme household. So Bernie talks like a baby, and then you make her blow you, and then she stops, and then you watch the show she wants to watch. Okay, that works.
I'm afraid your interpretation is way off.
Oh, you just watched.
No,
we
have a pet bird.
One of my favorite jokes, Jonathan Katz, from your neck of the woods. Jonathan Katz. I believe my wife is cheating on me. I came home last night and the parrot said, "Give it to me hard and fast before my husband John Katz comes home." and yes, I'd love a cracker.
Classic. I've heard that joke a gazillion times live because I work with John. John would always feature. He didn't open. He didn't MC.
Right.
He never closed because his energy was very low.
Oh yeah.
But just
brilliant
writer. So funny.
Dr. Katz.
Dr. Katz. The squiggly animated MTV, was it?
Comedy Central.
Was it Comedy Central officially?
And and then but he was great. I worked with him a million times. But yeah, you're right. He would middle. He wouldn't even say, "I don't want to." He knew any kind of energy before him, it wasn't going to work. So
perfect setup too, because he would get the crowd.
Oh God, yeah.
And he put the crowd right on the tee, and he just went up and went, "Oh, round the bases."
Yes, yeah, brilliant comedian. Look him up if you don't know who he is.
Jonathan Katz, comedian. I believe he lives the Boston area. Let's just say I'm not going to give you his address and social security number.
That would be weird.
That's strange.
All right.
What else is going on before we say goodbye to our friends?
I did a show. I did 2 shows Saturday night. Remember, I was driving to the shows.
Yeah, on our last podcast, he was behind the wheel. Get your motor running, head on the highway. Doing a gig.
That's a motorcycle song, sir. Isn't that a motorcycle song?
Yeah, but you were in like a little Prius or something.
I was in a smart car.
You were in a smart-ass car.
That's right. I did the show because comedian Eddie Griffin, who was booked all weekend, caused a ruckus Friday night. He went hard after Trump, and people didn't want to hear it in Naples. Someone threw a drink, and things happened, and the police called, and Eddie was taking selfies at the end, even in the ruckus, and people were going to try to punch him, and so they flew him home. Called me. We did the podcast. I was in the parking lot basically, and 2 shows, great crowds, and great shows. Had a lot of fun, and got to perform again, and it felt great. And
that worked out for you, but I bet he got half of his money as a deposit.
Sure.
In advance a year ago.
And what?
A year ago, I bet he got maybe a 25 to 50% of his money.
A year ago, I see. I didn't.
What?
Your
Sorry,
accent.
I'm
I'm
having a little trouble right now. Having a little trouble.
You phlegmy, little phlegmy. This one comes with a goddamn blue alert. This is it. I hope my sweet nieces aren't watching this. This is terrible. Just awful.
I forget, but they're young. They're young adults now.
They are actually. They're like 20 and 18 or 19 or 17 or 15. I don't know. I think they're 12 and 9.
Uncle,
I don't know how old they are. To be honest.
Uncle is trying to protect you from the world, and it makes you weak.
I'm trying to protect you from Al Ducharme. That's all I care.
Hey, are you bringing them by for Halloween?
So 2 shows. The opener stayed. They flew Eddie home. See how I go right over that. They flew Eddie home, and his opener stayed. So he opened the show. Then they brought in some comic from Miami. I can't remember his name. He was all right, and we had a nice Saturday night, and it all went well. And I head home, so round trip about 4 hours and 2 shows. Felt like a comedian again. That's what's weird during this. You feel like little spurts. I feel like a comic again. Then you come back and it's over. I don't have anything till. Actually, I'm working next weekend. I think you're working next weekend, right?
In 8 days, I'll perform live.
Live comedy.
Performance, live comedy. In I think it's Ventura County, but it's at the 14 Cannons Brewery. And I'm very excited about it. And
have Bernie or someone film a little, and let's put it on the Patreon.
Bernie's actually on the show, Bernadette Pauly.
But when she's done, film you, and a little piece of your set on the Patreon for people.
Oh, that's a good idea. My first time up, Burning in Flames. But I can always tweak it, put a laugh track in, and all that. But I'm going to be working with Tom.
We expect that.
And Stephanie Clark, and Stephanie is actually producing it. She does it's called Funny Girl Events, but she produces all kinds of shows, and she's a funny gal.
That would be sad if she wasn't good and produced Funny Girl Events.
No, she lives up to her name. She's very funny.
Right. No, but that would be weird, wouldn't it? Like Funny Girl Events, and then you go, who is it? And they go, whoever, and they go, oh, she's horrible.
Yeah, it worked to her advantage.
Nice. And they're a couple. They're both comics.
They're a married couple.
That never works out. Those comedians married. Oh no, I mean. Well, most of them don't. I mean, yours will. I'm just saying. I've heard stories where it doesn't work out.
Help me.
All right.
Are we done?
I think so.
Okay. Thanks for tuning in once again. And
hopefully there was sound and picture. We'll see.
Well, again, we were in a technical nightmare, and I think we may have ironed it out, at least to save it. We don't have the same production value that we've had.
I'm tired of this emoji, by the way. When people don't know what to do and they send you I'm tired of this emoji girl getting that thing from a text. And if you're a man sending that in a text, check yourself. Really.
I made my own custom emoji. You can make your own. Mine's like this, and the hands go
blue. Oh, blue.
We're out! The lighting is.
All right. Subscribe.
Mary.
If you shoot me, you won't see a cent of that money.